Hey folks, good morning. Bear with me. I don't do instructions very often, so I'm going to do the best I can to explain to you how to get your new 2006 style center console into your old 2005 and down style Volkswagen Beetle. What I had to do is loosen this plastic piece at the very front underneath the dash. I had to loosen it up. There'll be two screws, one on the left hand side, one on the right hand side. Just take them out a half a turn. The holes that you had seen me mention in the previous video, I had to make them a little bit bigger in order to get the horns with the expansion tabs that you had heard me talk about before, in order to get those horns to go in there and sit right. The other reason I had to do that is because of this 12 volt outlet. If you don't do that, if you don't loosen this centerpiece and allow for adjustment to go upward, and you keep it exactly the way it was from the factory, that 12 volt outlet is going to pop out at you. So loosen that centerpiece. The emergency brake lever has to be angled. You have to turn it. I don't have an actual degree amount, but it has to come over a good bit to the left as far as rotating. So you're going to take it from being straight on to being like that. What I did, and I made a diagram as best I could for you here, is if you see those three holes in that middle diagram, that's the top view of your emergency brake lever. Those holes are actually going to be a lot smaller than what I have them made out to be. You need to egg them out so that you can rotate that center console from a straight angle to a diagonal angle. And if I'm not mistaken, I had to egg it out bottom left hand on this hole, upper right hand on this hole, and bottom left hand on this hole. And I had to come a good bit forward on this hole as well. Second thing is on the new center console, there's going to be a little bit of an indent, I guess if you want to call it, it's a protrusion where the emergency brake lever goes through. And the emergency brake lever cover will actually rub on that protrusion, and you need to sand it down to be flush with the rest of this line in your center console. The driver's side closest to you will also have that, and that does not need to be sanded down. In the back there are going to be two holes. I'll try and show you those now. And you're going to have to egg those out into a P and or B shape. Initially you had a bracket that was held down by these two screws. No longer will you need that bracket. That bracket goes away and you use the holes that were holding that bracket down to go into these holes right here. These will be your new holes. That's why you need to make these a P shape, because the rear of this will sit a little bit to the left. To the passenger side. Another thing to note, put that cup holder in before you go down for your final fitment and final placing. The reason I say that is you'll never get that cup holder in because of how close it is to that rear seat board right there once you have it all in. I probably took this thing out about 100 times for trial and error, so just take my word for it. Everything fits in flush. You can get the center console from ecstuning.com. I want to say it ran about 180 if I'm not mistaken. It's been about a year and a half since I purchased it. It comes with all the screws, all the little bits and bobs, all the clips, all the tangs. Comes with a couple things extra actually you don't need. Excuse me. And all in all, this really does do a great job and is a great replacement. And you cannot hardly tell that this doesn't belong. It's just that exact. And like I said, please forgive me if I didn't cover something or if I didn't do a great job of explaining it. I'm just trying to show you and explain to you what I had to do to get this thing to work in here. Once all this is sat in flush, You can tighten this centerpiece back down at the very end, and then everything will sit in there nice and flush. You won't get any rattles, and that'll allow, like I said, this to go up a little bit. You're going to have to egg those holes upward and to the sides a little bit more. And if I'm trying to remember if I'm forgetting anything here, I think we're good. Like I said, bear with me. That's most of what I can think of. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to go over with you in a message. I could probably actually explain it a little bit better in a message. And I'll give consideration to doing a write-up for it. I'm sure the Beetle group would probably appreciate that. So once you get it all said and done, that's what you're going to end up with. It's going to look pretty stellar. Thanks for watching.